Hello everyone, today we have a deck that I'm calling the Unlikely Hero, because this was the bane of like everyone's existence when it was released, and that's High Evolutionary. But now how can we dethrone Loki? How can we dethrone Loki while still winning against other meta decks? And I think High Evolutionary is a good choice. It is a little bit less accessible than something like Loki, which is the Season Pass card, but if you have access to it, you can do some phenomenal things. We have a lot of kind of tricky plays. Loki likes to run a lot of discounts, and so Wave is going to have some incredible value. And along with that, a lot of the other decks that are competing with Loki, like Cerebro 3, like the Shuri Kitty Pryde that wants to drop 2 cards on the last turn to really slam a lot of power on the board while dodging initiative, you can completely derail their lines with Wave. And so the rest of the deck, we want to get our 1 costs out early, and then if we think they're going to use a Killmonger, we want to make sure they're protected with either an armor or a Cosmo, and with the ability to impact multiple lanes over time. Sunspot is great, Nebula is great, we have the Cyclops that can negatively afflict, giving so much value to your cards, and then bringing it home with either a wave into a Doctor Doom or a wave into a Hulk is a fantastic way to finish out the game. You slam a lot of power, you have a lot of disruption and a lot of protection built in, and so you can really fare well against anything that you're facing. And ever since Jeff was featured in a Spotlight Cache, I haven't featured him, but today we're going to feature him. We have Jeff, the baby land shark. So if you recently used your spotlights to open up the Jeff this week, then we are going to have a deck for you today, and it performs phenomenally. We had an amazing run with this deck, and it feels really flexible while still being really powerful at the same time. We're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys as always for being here. We're really close to 40,000, so if you're watching and not subscribed, definitely consider it. I would appreciate it. I love seeing our community grow. Let's go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Could be... Oh, it's Cerebro 3, yeah? Blade, Swarm, Killmonger, all fit. But they were going to kill their Blade. I don't know, but we're going to snap on them. My little buddy. My little armor buddy. All right. Next up we have Ochin 1. Dechin? Ochin. My eyes are terrible, you guys. I apologize. We have the Infinite Mech Devil Dino avatar, just like me. We're both charging our Fire Blast here. Ready to knock out the other opponent. And so they do play into this unknown location with a Jeff, the baby land shark, to stop our Nebula from scaling. The Raft, that fits into our line perfectly. We're going to be able to do Cyclops and then Sunspot, and we will be able to positively impact the Raft every single turn. Now, we have Wave built into this deck, especially for Loki decks. They're going to want to flood. If you can hit them with a Wave, that can restrict how much reach they're going to be able to get. So the Kitty Pryde Sauron deck, the Kitty Pryde, or I guess the Sauron deck, the Kitty Pryde Shuri, the Kitty Pryde Shuri Taskmaster deck, all of those want to do a lot of things to be successful. We could hide the Wave. I think we're just going to let Sunspot soak here. That way Cyclops is going to negatively impact this lane. They do get the free resource. Ours is Thanos. I wonder what theirs is. Wasp and then Rhino. Interesting. This is a Cerebro 3. Right? Is this the second Cerebro 3 we've seen? Cerebro 3 stocks are up, you guys. All right, let's do Thanos, and then we're going to do good old Wave. That's going to allow us to do a Hulk here. We can positively impact this lane. Now, our Cyclops may not get as much benefit if they have a Luke Cage that they get to play, because then it's not going to be negatively impacting these cards. But if they don't get Luke Cage, then we are very, very comfortable here. And they're only going to be able to drop 1 card on the last turn, depending on what they drop here. Ooh, the Professor X. And then the Chavez, so not going to be going Cerebro 3, maybe because of the free Raft resource, they leaned into it. I don't know. They could always go, ooh, they could go Valkyrie here, but Valkyrie would display before our Sunspot soaks and before Cyclops negatively afflicts. All right. I don't think they can do anything bigger than 10, but we're going to do it just in case. Let's throw the Hulk. Do they have a Shang-Chi? And would they display first? I don't know for sure. They do play in the right lane. The Shadow King. Okay, perfectly fine. I don't know why that never works. Because with Wave, we're always going to have the extra negative affliction with Cyclops, the positive soak with Sunspot. we will gladly take it. All right, you guys, we're going to be polo this game because next up we have Marco. Ooh, rank 2000. I haven't seen a rank 2000. It's always been like mid 1000s. And I know there's a lot of people that have hit Infinite. But it's interesting to see the 2000 mark. Let's go ahead and go Misty Knight. We'll probably go armor on the second turn just to make sure that we're protected in this left lane. Danger Room, we could also do our armor there if we wanted to, but I think with Jeff, with Dr. Doom, we can impact that lane even without risking actually playing there. So let's go Misty Knight. Let's protect it with armor. Let's get a feel for what they're running. Okay, the Kitty Pryde and then the Angela. So they were probably running the Kitty Pryde Shuri Taskmaster deck. And so if we can catch them by surprise with the wave, then we can get some good benefit. Let's go Jeffrey. Good old Jeffrey here. He's going to allow Misty Knight to buff up one of our cards, the Forge. Yeah, this is the full-fledged Kitty Pryde deck. I expected nothing less. We can do the Cosmo to stop like a Hulkbuster, which actually, if I'm them, we may be able to get Hulkbuster to just stick on the ground. If I'm them, I go Hulkbuster in Onslaught Citadel. I go Kitty Pryde plus Hulkbuster here, if they have it. We don't know if they do or not, so I am going to go Cosmo here. With the Forge, I don't think they're going to have... with the Forge, I don't think they're going to have a Killmonger. I think this is much more in line with the full all-in Kitty Pryde Shuri Taskmaster slam. And so they do have a big left lane right now. We have the Cosmo over here. We don't get Wave, unfortunately. Wave was our kind of saving grace, honestly. So no Wave. It's in our bottom three. They get Jeff down, the Kitty Pryde, and then Shuri over here. No, Hulkbuster. They do Hulkbuster now. Wow. That's good. That's a big Angela. Kitty Pryde here is scary. They can't do Taskmaster here, but they could do Kitty Pryde and then Taskmaster here. But this is only 8 with the Kitty Pryde. So interesting. Okay. I mean, it might be worth risking here. I don't know. Depending on where they stack. The Kitty Pryde, yeah, just the Kitty Pryde and then Arrow. Arrow's fine. We have the Dr. Doom that is going to impact every single lane. We're going to steal mid. We're going to steal right. I didn't think we had a good shot there, but the Arrow on the last turn was not quite enough to get the job done. We will take the win where we can. It was sloppy, but a win is a win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. This is a flashback to our video from 2 days ago. First, we had Sis, and then Placeholder, which I think was top 100 before and is now 200 just because of extra people hitting Infinite. But interesting. Very, very interesting for sure. So Sakaar, we have Kiln. I think we go Sunspot. We have the armor. We have Jeff that can play over there. We kind of hope that Dr. Doom gets pulled by Sakaar. We feel decently confident. Psylocke ramp. It could be a Galactic. Oh, we can't go. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, their Arnold Zola's busted. They could always hit that with an Odin, but with our armor here, it's going to be stuck. So kind of interesting. I don't think they're going to have a Killmonger. Maybe a Galactus is something we have to worry about with the Psylocke into whatever, but they played into Danger Room. It's the Mijor negative, and he sticks. That's unfortunate, my friends. My goodness. Very, very unfortunate. So the Arnim Zola, they're not going to be able to get any reach into Kiln after this turn. So I think we go Cosmo, and we just let it happen. Just Cosmo, we could always wave into like a Dr. Doom to impact all 3 lanes. We can also just continue to soak with our Sunspot. They could have gotten an inverted resource here. That could be pretty big, but I don't know. The Nolan, the left lane is big if they can destroy additional cards. If not, then it's a sitting duck. We also stuck their Mystique. I think we go Nebula into Danger Room. Like, this is a very bad amount of power. I think they're going to be gambling in Danger Room trying to get something to destroy because typically their only way to destroy is going to be with Arnim Zola. I almost think we gamble with the Nebula, though. We're going to gamble with the Nebula. See if it sticks. Hopefully it sticks. Ooh, it does stick. And they extend the game with magic, and so it's no longer going to be a question about if the cards are going to get destroyed in this lane. We can now do wave. We can do wave without worrying about buffing up their null. They're only going to be able to do one card on the last turn. That is where we comfortably go Doctor Doom or Hulk, depending on what we draw into. Let's go ahead and drop the wave on them. I think this whole game for placeholder was just an unfortunate mess. An unfortunate mess of games and a string of games. And so they got the Jane Foster, so they have all of their zero cost cards, all of their inverted resources, but one big major but is that they can only drop one card here. So let's do Doctor Doom. We're going to impact every single lane here. And even if they kill a card, it doesn't buff up the null enough. It doesn't buff up Sakaar enough. Should be very comfortable here. All right, next up we have Mokirat coming in at rank 3000. And that doesn't always mean anything substantial. But it's interesting how big of a spread the matchmaking can be. Like sometimes I'll match against rank 30 and then other times rank 3000. Super interesting to kind of see that play out. Now, we have Sunspot, but I assume Sunspot eventually gets destroyed with a Killmonger because they have Nova down. I really like Jeff in Bar Sinister. It's so phenomenal. It's a 2-cost 12 power that you can manipulate and move around the board as needed. So it's another Deadpool deck. Interesting. We don't really want to throw Nebula out because that helps their Deadpool cause. Let's do Cyclops. They snapped. I assume Killmonger at some point. Sabretooth. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So no destruction on it yet. We have to look out for the null. Oh no. I was so excited for a second. I was so excited about the Cosmo ongoing blocking their ability to destroy. Oh no. Okay, well, unfortunate. I thought we had like a surefire, like a beautiful counter with that Cosmo top deck, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. The Deathlock comes down. We wouldn't be able to do armor or Cosmo. Them playing into the Isle of Silence was a big strategic decision. I mean, it was the first location. I think they probably would have played there intentionally had they had all of the information and all of the choices. Deathlock comes down. They have the extra energy from the Superflow. We do not. Let's go wave here. The only benefit we get from wave, I mean, it's decent benefit, right? Let's go wave here. If they don't Killmonger this turn, they would have to do that as their only play on the last turn. We also have the Jeffs that we can move around. Old Jeff, Jeff 2, Jeff 3, and Jeff 4. We have the Hulk if we need to, the Doctor Doom if we need to. Beautiful kind of line of us having a play. That is a lot of cards in Bar Sinister. The Sabretooth, that will not be free next turn. The Wolverine, the Carnage, that would have to be their only drop if that's what they want to play. And so they chose not to destroy the Deadpool in favor of getting 2 free Sabreteeth. Ooh, they could go... No. Yeah. Oh. They could go Arnim Zola, right? Arnim Zola would go wild in Bar Sinister. Like, truly wild, right? Arnim Zola popping here, and then here. And then Arnim Zola popping here and here. Okay. I was gonna make a tough decision between like a Hulk, a Doctor Doom, or a Cosmo to block them from destroying this one. I didn't know which direction we were gonna go with, but they do us a favor and they retreat. All right, next up we have K-Ton. The first location is Hala, so we are gonna play our Nebula away from that location. We have Old Jeffrey, we have Misty Knight. We're looking for armor or Cosmo, but even as is, a lot of people are not running the Killmonger. It is seeing an uptick with people running like High Evolutionary or leaning into those 1-drops, so the Snow Guard, the Quinjet. So we're seeing a little bit of an uptick in popularity, but it's still manageable for sure. So the Sentinel could either be Cerebro 3 or it could be a Loki deck. And we low-key don't know which direction it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and go Cosmo into Hell's Kitchen. Maybe we can block off their Sentinel from coming back into their hand. Maybe we can stop a Loki, but I wanna drop it. If it's a Loki deck, then this is Collector. If it's a Cerebro 3, then Sentinel, they're not gonna be able to. I think it's Cerebro 3. Cerebro 3 is seeing an uptick, so we're seeing a lot of decks kind of shifting over in popularity if they can do well or match well into Loki. And so discard, Cerebro, all of those lines are seeing a little bit of an uptick, and it's very funny to see. And we do have armor in this lane. I'm going to go ahead and do Sunspot. Even though we can't protect it, I am just going to throw it onto the board. It's going to be able to get some traction. We will be able to do a wave plus Jeff this next turn. Yeah, Cerebro 3 for sure is what we're looking at. We'll be able to do a wave plus Jeff. So if they, I mean, they could try to do a magic. Magic is a potential line. They have the loot cage, so Cyclops doesn't get us much benefit. Let's go wave and old Jeffrey here. Old Jeffrey. And then we'll have a very good idea of which direction we should go, depending on if they drop or what they drop this turn. And so let's go with this. If it's a Cerebro, if it's a Valkyrie in the left lane, potentially, we'll see. The magic. They do extend the game with magic. Unfortunately, I was a little bit afraid of that. So now we are worried about a Valkyrie play. We're still worried about Killmonger. There's a couple of things we're worried about. Dr. Doom is 10 power in the 2 lanes, and then on the last turn, we can decide what we want to do. Overall, this lane may be okay with the Nebula being able to scale. The Cerebro comes down over there. Oof. Maybe not going to be okay. We'll see. So the Cerebro came down. If they were to do Mystique, they couldn't do Valkyrie. They could do, they could do Killmonger. Killmonger Mystique would take out the Sunspot. Would help them win this lane. They would win this lane. They would lose this one. The Bast. If the Bast hit the Mystique, I don't know. I don't know. There's so many ways we could go with this. Let's do this number. And we're going to do this number and Praise. Nobody has snapped, so it could be the Killmonger Mystique. Mystique in mid. Is it the Killmonger as well? If so, we should be able to outpower the middle lane because Mystique did not get hit with Bast. It is a Shadow King, so not quite enough. We have the Hulk that is able to overpower that lane. That you get the right lane, but we get the other 2. We will take, I think that's our 7th win in a row. That we will take our 7th win in a row. Let's jump into the next one. Next up, we have Faber Fabes. I don't know. I think the audience is old enough to remember Flavor Flav. I think that's what the reference is in regards to. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely off base and it's not, but I got a good chuckle out of it. All right, let's go ahead and go Nebula. We can use armor to protect it. We can use armor to protect the ninja lane if we wanted to, but not knowing what they're running, I don't think that's what we go with. Let's go armor now. And I don't think we typically want to use our energy inefficiently like we would have previously because Hulk is not our end-all card. Like, if he's 16, that's perfect. He doesn't need to be 25. And Rickety Bridge comes down, so we're protected here, thankfully. Thankfully, we went ahead and played it safe. Safe rather than sorry. Let's go Cosmo. That way they don't know Cyclops is going to come down here because I assume they start playing in this lane. And then we can drop our Cyclops. The big above 9 power cards are not going to be a threat here because no Shang-Chi worry, and so we'll be able to go from there. Jeff, if this is another 3... No, okay. I was going to say, if this is another 3-cost card, we're really concerned with another Cerebro 3, but this lane's bad for him, so they didn't go with that. We can go Cyclops here. I don't know that we need to, though. Let's go ahead and go Cyclops in the right lane. I think that's going to help us solidify that location. Oh, the Nakia and then the Absorbing Man. Interesting. They could be going with like a Lady Deathstrike build, and they're wanting to ramp up that card. They could also be going the Brood strategy, which this lane is now too full. This lane, they can't do it because of the Cosmo. So if that's the direction they're going, I think it was ill-advised. Let's go Wave. Let's go Jeffrey. We're not going to be able to scale the Hulk this turn. We're not going to be able to negatively afflict with the Cyclops. But I think limiting them to 1 card on the last turn is big. Ooh, then they snap back? Faber Fabe. What are you cooking, my friend? They do have 1 card in Nidavellir. They're not going to be able to extend it much further than that. And so we should be able to outpower them just with the... No! Oh, that's so unfortunate for you, my friend. They dropped the Sarah, and we dropped the hard counter of the wave. Woof. So we grab we grab the 4 cubes, and we are up substantially. That is 8 wins in a row.